If your knees are hurting when you're going upstairs or you're going hiking with your friends, the knees may not actually be the source of the problem. Now at my gym, we have a special leg press that works on alternating hip motion. It's one of the most important things you can do after 50. But if you don't have access to that kind of equipment, let me show you 3 simple ways to begin restoring that motion at home. Let me show you the first step. The first exercise is called the alternating scorpion stretch. Now, the first step is restoring rotation gently without loading the knee, not putting any weight into the knees yet, because that's a whole other issue, okay? So let's go ahead, just lay down here. Now, if the floor isn't comfortable, do this on your bed. It just needs to be stable, okay? So Sandra's demonstrating this here. Bring one leg slowly across your body. Let it rotate. Feel the stretch in your hip and in your low back, then bring it back, and then you're gonna just alternate sides. You don't need extreme range, don't push it too hard. Controlled movement is what matters, okay? We're getting those hips to rotate. Now, look at this. This is a flexible SI joint, smooth glide, left and right, it's moving independently. This is what healthy hip rotation looks like. But now, watch what happens over time. Life happens. We sit too much, we lift children, pregnancy, shifts mechanics, old injuries, car accidents, manual labor, even just decades of wear and tear. Scar tissue builds, the glide reduces, the rotation stiffens, and then this is what it looks like. Shorter steps, a stiffer stride, maybe hip pain, maybe knee pain. If the hip joints can't move independently, that's when things shift into the knees. You start to have knee pain, but that's not where the problem actually is. Now, if you're my age, think Tim Conway's old man character, those tiny steps, the slight bend, the careful turns. Yeah, that Tim Conway shuffle, it's not weakness, it's a loss of rotation in the hips. When that motion disappears, the knees and low back, they both start working overtime. And after 50, especially as hormones shift through menopause, the muscle mass declines faster, the connective tissue stiffens, and then the amount of recovery changes. So if you keep doing the workouts you did at 35, at 25, your joints are gonna take a hit. And it doesn't mean you're broken. After 50, the strategy has to change. It's strength and motion more important now than just cardio. So while you're alternating here, you're restoring independent hip motion, you're loosening the low back, you're opening the front of the hips, you're reminding that joint how to move. Even done on your bed, this gently restores rotation through the SI joint while easing your low back and the front of your hips. The next exercise is curtsy squat. Now, once rotation begins to return, we need to reintroduce hip flexion and a load, meaning carrying a weight, okay? So in a way, this will protect your knees. So let's go ahead, let's stand up. Let's step one leg back at an angle, more of like a curtsy than a deep squat. Lower slightly, then alternate sides. Georgie's demonstrating with light dumbbells. You can absolutely start there. You don't even have to use any weights at all. But as strength and confidence build, you can progress like Pat to heavier dumbbells while keeping that same cross-body motion. The depth isn't the priority, the rotation is. If the SI joint is supposed to let each hip move independently, what happens when it can't? Where does that lost motion go? It goes to your knees. It goes to your low back. When hips lose rotation, knees absorb force they weren't meant to handle. That's when step-ups start hurting, going upstairs, that's when squatting down, they feel unstable. This crossbody pattern restores flexion and rotation together. It teaches the hips to accept force again, so the knees don't have to. Yeah, that Tim Conway shuffle isn't aging, it's compensation. And compensation can be reversed. The next exercise, the final exercise, exercise 3, is finally we train what matters most for daily life. Stairs, curbs, getting up out of a low couch with confidence. So let's just find a step. Let's start low. Let's step up, drive through the hip, control the way down, alternate sides. Have you caught yourself taking smaller steps lately or hesitating before getting up from a low chair? That's the same stiffness. Scar tissue limits rotation, arthritis reduces glide. The brain chooses safe and small. That's when the Tim Conway walk shows up again, those tiny steps, that really careful movement. But when you drive through the hip in a step up, the knee stabilizes instead of overworking. Look at Tina here, nearly 70, doing high steps. Pat, not the longest legs, stepping up onto the same high surface because her hips move well. And Emily, 84 years old, going upstairs without holding on. That's maintained mobility. At my gym, we reinforce this same independent pattern with our alternating leg press, safely loading each leg individually. Even with our special leg press, if we push both legs together at the same time, some of my clients feel like their knees are going to give out. It's because we're just not used to making sure that we're compensating with one leg versus the other. This is something that can be reversed on our machine at the gym, but also with the exercises we're showing here. That unstable feeling isn't a reason to avoid the work. It's proof we need to train side-to-side independence. When you restore that side-to-side strength, stability follows, and then more confidence follows after that. That's why we emphasize alternating single leg loading, and this step up at home follows that same principle. So if you've noticed your body feels stiffer than it used to, especially getting up from a chair or climbing stairs, you might assume that's just aging, but often it's the SI joint quietly changing how everything else has to move. If you've tried some of your old programs or some new programs that aren't designed for people over 50 and you've flared something up, it's not that you're broken. It's this that you have to reprioritize the things that are important now that you're in your 50s moving into midlife. After 50, especially through menopause, your estrogen declines, the muscle mass decreases faster, the connective tissue stiffens. If the hips don't move independently, everything above and below compensates. The key is restoring alternating motion and rebuilding strength. Now here's the part that matters most, especially if you've tried before and flared something up. Don't compare yourself. Your body adapts to consistency, not intensity. Start where you are. You can add mountain climbers with your hands on a chair. You can stretch with one foot elevated on a chair. There are other mobility drills we use, but begin with rebuilding motion first. Rebuild rotation, rebuild strength, rebuild confidence. So if you haven't worked out at all and you need to build basic strength, don't start with these particular exercises. I have a free mini workout that you can download. The link is in the description below. And along with that, I have some mindset strategies because things are different now that you're in your 50s, 60s, moving into your later decades. Just like all of us, we have to make sure that we're prioritizing the right things. Go ahead, click the link in the description below. Go ahead and download it. Start from there, build up, take it one step at a time. You've got this. And I will see you in the next video.